Is back. And thank you all for joining us as we hold it down for Holly and for Smith. Kelsey, I am extremely excited about this. We have training camps going on, and as of right now, everyone is doing joint practices, it seems. But of course, one of the biggest stories has been in our area, essentially. I'm here at the 695 corridor. You're down there at the 495 corridor. And the Ravens and the Commanders have been facing off. And it has been very, very chippy, to say the least. Fights on both days and their 2-day practices. Lots of propaganda on both sides going around on social media. And the fans have also gotten into it as well. And so a lot of people are excited about Forbes, the new cornerback that the Commanders have had, and he's had some matchups with rookie Zay Flowers of the Ravens. And depending on what team you root for, everyone has just decided to pick a side and go there. And it's hilarious because while either team they don't play each other every year, they're in completely different conferences, you can feel the rivalry brewing with these practices.
I have loved social media here in the DMV in Baltimore because, like you said, everyone's deciding to pick a side. But for someone like me, Reeta, who's a Maryland girl but work for the Commanders, I feel like I'm stuck in the middle. Now, as you said, I think, the joint practices, of course, things are going to get feisty and testy. That's just what DC and Baltimore does. If anything, Reeta, folks need to be more like me and you. Like, yes, DC and Baltimore can get along. They can be friends. But for some reason, when you put us together, things like this happen. I love there was a great tweet talking about even Justin Tucker almost got in it, at one point. We had Mark Andrews showing his strength, those guns, throwing down, Danny Johnson. Like, it was just, I think it's all fun and games. You hear the press conference after, and the guys, they seem like they're making the most of it. I'm sure they're keeping the coaches busy because they're actually trying to make sure nobody gets hurt. Remember, these are two teams, Reeta, that have had injury-plagued seasons. And, Baltimore already getting bad news coming out today about Marlon Humphrey. Now, of course, not relating this to what happened, but all in all, I think this is the 4th time the Ravens have hosted a joint practice. I don't know if John Harbaugh maybe the next time is like, I don't know. I really want my guys to be out there. But if anything, Reeta, it's preparing us for a good Monday night matchup between these two. And like you said, these teams are, as Fred Smith says, they're cousins, right? They don't get to see each other a lot, but when they do, I think they're taking up the pride of the area, it feels like, and just putting it on each other. And I think it's good. Both teams obviously entering the preseason 1-0. And I know folks are going to say, Kelsey, Reeta, it's preseason. But, they have some pride to play for. Baltimore has their preseason streak on the line. So I think they're taking it personal. And FedEx Field Monday should be all eyes, Reeta, on this game after what's been happening at these practices.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the streak. While I believe that there is obviously a place for preseason games, I'm just not a huge fan of like what these 24 consecutive games mean. But I love the character building. That's what I call this. I call this character building because at the end of the day, you're playing against your own guys. You're hitting against your own guys. So now you get to hit on somebody else, right? And so a lot of times, at least with the Ravens, they're very scared now to play their starters after what happened to J.K. Dobbins, ironically, against the Commanders. I think then they were the Washington football team. So, they're not going to really play their starters. If they do, it's not going to be for very long come Monday night. But ultimately, this gives the starters a chance to play against their starters and see how they fare. And so there's been some battles won on both sides. The Ravens are obviously struggling right now, as you mentioned, because of the Marlon Humphrey going down. So they're very low on cornerbacks, but you saw the defensive line had done some really good things against the offensive line of the Commanders. And then also on the other side, the Ravens struggled offensively to really make some plays. So this to me is character building, and a little bit of fighting isn't going to hurt anybody. Now,
we need it, Reeta.
I will ask this. I don't understand how crazy you could be to be swinging at people who have on helmets and pads. But, if you're that kind of crazy, then maybe you do belong on the football team to get your aggression.
Organized violence, organized chaos, whatever you want to call the football game. But like you said, it might not be best to use your hands with a hard helmet. Reeta, those things, you'll hurt yourself. But I think the guys, again, they're just getting into it. Like you said, let's be honest, as fans, we love when things get chippy. If anything, I think especially for the Commanders as a team, I really think, Reeta, that's trying to rebuild their identity after all that has went on with this team, right? And new ownership, right? Obviously, Eric Bieniemy coming in. And honestly, getting questioned about their toughness, Reeta, after those rumors came out about players saying, EB, you're a little bit too tough for what we're used to. So I think for the Commanders, maybe they're trying to show, hey, yeah, we do have some fight. We do have some dog in us. Because really, they were getting questioned about it. Now, I don't know if Baltimore's the team that you want to show that against, but obviously, at least maybe, like you said, in practice, maybe that's the place to do it. And as you said, I think it's really good for the starters to do this. Because let's be honest, football it's physical. It's physical. So I do like this happening somewhere. I think especially for the young guy you mentioned for Forbes, they're trying to earn some respect. And I think, you talked about the Ravens secondary, but let's also remember this was a Commander secondary that also got hurt and has some improvement to make. And so I think he's saying, like, don't play with me, don't come near this way, and they know these videos are out there and things like that. So all in all, I think it's good for Baltimore and DC. I hope the fans don't act like that at the game, Reeta. Like, I want security to be able to chill. I know some of the security guards, at FedEx Field. I don't want them busy, Reeta. I don't want them busy. So hopefully this doesn't spill over. But when alcohol's involved, you never know. But all in all, again, you like this. You want Sam Howell to be able to welcome to the NFL. What an introduction, to go against, Baltimore's defense. But all in all, I think we've seen great things on both sides, as you said. And again, this gets us fans excited. I saw Commanders fans taking over the Ravens feed. Reeta put an HTTC. Like, everyone's, I think, getting into this. And all in all, it's just good, fun and games, I think, here for us, at least in the DMV and Baltimore area.
Yeah, it's funny because it's starting to get a little bit chippy on the fan side. One of the Washington reporters was talking about how great the facility is at Owens Mills. And a fan came in and said, oh, well, M&T is not as good as FedEx Field. And it just turned into a real rivalry there. Now, whoever you choose to root for is who you root for. Now, but I think that we can all agree that FedEx Field could a little bit of a makeover. And I probably
you need some love. I mean, Reeta, it's out there. It's out there, like you're saying. I mean, we just saw it from the Beyonce concert. I can't tell you how many people hit me up, like, Kelsey, why didn't you tell me about FedEx Field? What was I going to say, Reeta? Like, I mean, the reality, it's been out there. Fans have put it out there on social media. So if anything, maybe this game would have been nicer if it was played in Baltimore. Obviously, we didn't get to decide that. But hopefully, like you said, FedEx Field gets some much needed love and repair soon, especially, if Governor Wes Moore is hoping to keep that team in Maryland. You got to give something, Reeta, because FedEx Field has not been great to fans or visitors that have come.
I completely agree.
Hey, thank you for watching Brother from Another. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that now. Don't forget, you can catch us 3 to 4 weekdays on PeacockTV.com and on Sirius XM Channel 85.